What's good, everyone? Welcome to day one of my revolution. Like, look, I am sick and tired of modern society, right? I'm tired of taxes, I'm tired of having a bedtime, so I moved out to the woods. So I got about a month's supply of food right here. So we should be good for quite a while, but then, even if we don't, I got some camping supplies here, so I'll be good to cook. So we're gonna get some really good revolting done out here. You know, write a book, maybe send a few packages, know what I'm saying? So yeah, I will keep you updated. Welcome to day 2 of my revolution. I ran out of food, so I'm making some of my world famous fried butane. I couldn't really figure it out though, I mean, if only there was a way to heat the can. But yeah, we might die soon, stay tuned. I thought I could make a difference, but I couldn't. I'm sorry. What's good, everyone? Today we're discussing Rebuilding Atlantis, which is an off-grid living project started by our protagonist, well, more of an anti-hero, Michael Guzman. And as the title suggests, there are a lot of red flags with this project that paint it as irresponsible at best and cult-like at worst. So we're gonna look into it today. Let's get it. Now, before we get into the actual project, I just gotta say, Michael's haircut goes crazy hard. Bro really got the Eureka! And he also got the I know I can't talk. Stop writing that comment. I'm getting one soon, alright? I look like I've been living in the desert for a year as well. But you know, I'm just really getting into character today. But basically, Michael is a homeless man, probably voluntarily, because he's actually quite well off. But we'll get into that later. And he takes issue with modern American society, so he decides to start a revolution and move off into the El Paso desert.
Somebody has got to start a revolution. And that somebody is me. You guys, whoever you are out there, you can live here for free on my land. And you can live here with whatever you bring with you. If it's a tent or a camper or whatever it is, come on out and let's get this party started. I got a pretty good start here so far. You
heard that right. This random guy bought 20 acres of land and is inviting anyone to live on it, just out in the middle of nowhere. And don't get me wrong, off-grid living's been a thing for quite a while now. It's pretty much just where you live without any public utilities. And you know, sometimes it actually works out well. Like, a lot of people actually do this. It's just, in Michael's case, the way he handles it is so irresponsible, and it just goes so badly in so many ways. And the reason I'm critical of this is because in some of the worst case scenarios of off-grid living, you end up with some really horrific cults, such as Jonestown. Now, luckily for us, Michael's posted over 100 videos documenting his journey, and I watched them all because I love you people. Now, most of them are pretty boring, so I won't be covering every episode, but I'll give you the important details. And then after that, we're going to get into some of the other residents and their experience here. Because as you can probably guess, Michael's a little biased with how he tells things. So episode 1 is centered around Michael gathering wood, you know, really making this a true Minecraft Let's Play. And this is a pretty consistent theme in his videos. It's pretty much just him documenting the little goofy projects he works on and the resources he finds, which are a lot of times less than useful. But again, there's some really good info scattered around. Now in episode 2, he finds a water tank, which is really useful because again, he's in Texas, in the desert, which gets ludicrously hot during the summer, and I don't really get why he even chose this place. Like, alright guys, we're gonna start an off-grid living project where we don't rely on public water. So, where should we put it? Yeah, let's put it in hell. But finally, in episode 3, we get a key detail about how Michael's actually getting these resources. So, Michael is homeless and he does not have a job. Where is he getting the money? Like, how does he have all these cars, these projects? How does he have all his stuff that he has? How does he have a motorhome full of guns?
All the stores are up there. I'm gonna head up there and start panhandling, make a few dollars for today and tomorrow and whatever other days I can make it stretch. And I'm gonna go back out to my ranch, start working on more projects out there. So, I'll see you guys.
So yeah, that is the whole mode of production of this new society. So, he drives into town, panhandles a bunch, buys a bunch of stuff, and then brings it back. And like, this is where you really start to see the irresponsibility kick in. So this dude is entirely funded by other people, you know? Like, nothing wrong with being homeless, nothing wrong with panhandling, but like, if this is the way you earn money, you really shouldn't be inviting other people to live on your land, especially when you're blowing that little bit of money you get on like, cars and stuff. Like, I'm not even joking. Half the episodes of this documentary are just him working on his car shit. But like, he's trying to start this like, self-sufficient revolution, but he's not even self-sufficient himself yet. I mean, maybe it's meant to be more like Rust in real life. Like, yeah, everyone's just fending for themselves, but like, that's not how he advertises it as. But anyway, what is this new society he's trying to build even supposed to look like? Basically, it's just meant to be a completely free society within reason. Like, you can kind of just do whatever you want out there. That's like his whole vision. And one of the big reasons that he moved out there is because he has an issue with a lot of like modern laws and taxes.
We don't have zoning out here. They tell you what you can have in your buildings that you do have. They don't have that out here, so I could put a strip club over there and a daycare right next to it. Basically, I can do whatever I want out here.
Don't get me wrong, zoning is stupid in a lot of cases, especially like single family unit zoning. But like, some rules exist for a reason. Why does he want to build a strip club next to a daycare? I love to imagine this was just like a personal problem he had before he withdrew from society. He's all like, I want to go to the strip club, but I have to take care of this stupid ass kid. What do I do? Oh yeah, let's move to the desert so there's no zoning laws, so I can build these buildings next to each other. But I love how he says this as if he's ever going to have the resources to make a strip club or a daycare. Like, how are you even going to build a building in the first place? What is your plan, dude? You have 20 acres, 0 manpower, 0 money, and 0 materials. What? How do you plan to do this? Like, your strip club is gonna be a bunch of blankets propped up by sticks. I feel like I'm putting way too much thought into this. I feel like I'm putting more thought into this than he did, but whatever. But he does have some forward thinking though, as he says that he plans to set up a general store and mainly sell to people within the commune and people driving through. And my question is like, if you want to start a business so bad, why not just do it in society? You're like 30 miles from El Paso, just move to El Paso and start a business, you know? You could even do what you're doing. You make all your money by panhandling, and then you buy a place. And it's funny too, because he talks about like giving away his general store stuff for free. Like, oh yeah, I can start a general store and just kind of sell to people in the commune for free. Like, he has a very naive view of what's even possible within his society. As of right now, if you're not producing anything, you probably can't sell things for free. Speaking of free things though, so yeah, if you want to support the channel, you can buy me a plane ticket to Detroit, or, you know, you could just subscribe. That's pretty cool too. Because we're about to hit 20k. This is truly an amazing week. I appreciate y'all a ton. Anyways though, I mentioned that he funds all these endeavors with panhandling. So, how much is he actually making off that?
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Rebuilding Atlantis. I'm here in El Paso again, panhandling to make some money. I'm about to go put in a full work shift, 8 hours. I'm gonna try to do 9 to 5 today. Made about $800 so far.
What am I even doing right now? Why am I even making videos? Like, alright, look y'all, I'm gonna start a vlogging panhandling channel, so keep an eye out for Royal Young 2 pretty soon. But what does he actually do with this money? You know, what are the types of things he has on his commune? Like, what is it? Where do his priorities lie currently? They lie in boats. He has a boat in the desert. No, yeah, there's lakes in Texas, but like, I feel like water recreation should be the least of your worries right now. You don't even have like a farm set up. Spoiler alert, he doesn't grow a single thing until 60 episodes later. And he has a boat. Like, dude, sometimes I wonder if I'm bad with money. Like, when I started this channel, I had a bit of a dilemma. So, as you probably noticed, I'm in a different setting. I'm back at my house, but I go to school at another place. I stay on campus there, and I was like, well, I can't really bring my PC because it's kind of big. That's what I used to edit on at the time. And then so I bought a laptop. It was a pretty expensive one because I have to be able to edit on it, and I felt so irresponsible. I was like, oh my gosh, this is really dumb. This is really dumb of me. There's no guarantee that this is gonna pay off, and it actually did because you guys are cool as hell. Thank you so much. But like, my point is that I worry a lot whether I'm responsible with money because I do things like that, and then I see what people like Michael are doing, and I'm like, dude, I'm fine. I don't have a boat in the middle of the desert, all right? And it's funny too, because Michael has cars already. Like, he has multiple cars and a mobile home, but he still keeps buying them every time he sees them. Like, what are you doing? You have bigger worries. I feel like I have to keep reiterating that. And it's like, that's not me trying to like dunk on his hobby or whatever. Like, I respect that. This dude's a real handyman, a real DIY guy. But like, you should be DIYing some food. Like, what are you doing? Especially when you're advertising it as something that's trying to become like a community and self-sustaining, but you have literally nothing to show yet. Now, it's on the people moving there to do the research, but you know, Michael's not exactly honest with them, as you're gonna see later. And it certainly doesn't absolve him from the blame of anything going wrong. Speaking of things going wrong, he posted a video around this time of his run-in with the cop. Basically, he was panhandling and someone called the cops on him. But as far as I can tell, Michael's just panhandling. He really hasn't committed a crime, but the cop harasses him for his ID anyways, which like, he doesn't have to give if he didn't commit a crime. So like, the police are in the wrong here. And this actually happens a lot to him. He just has a lot of like videos of him dealing with the cops who are either illegally searching or asking for his ID. Usually it seems like Michael hasn't done anything wrong, but we also haven't seen before the video. And that's not me trying to defend the cops. Actually, yes it is, because I love them. Blue lives matter, am I right? Wait, pause. I was joking when I said this, but watching it back, I realized that I look like the type of person who would actually say this. So, yeah, I should probably clarify that. Alright, continue. No, but seriously, like, he does get harassed by the cops a lot, as I'm sure that a lot of homeless people in Texas have to deal with. And as far as I can tell, they've never actually proved him to be, like, aggressively panhandling. But the reason I even bring this up is because this is one of the reasons he cites for wanting to move out to the desert, like the tyranny of the police and all that. It's honestly probably his best reason for actually wanting to move out of society, because his other ones aren't very good. And again, not to defend the people harassing Michael, because again, he's homeless, he's just making money the way he can. But I can kind of understand why someone would call the cops on him in this case, because apparently he was open carrying while panhandling. Like, it's legal, but I kind of get why someone would be put off by that. Like, hey man, can I get $1? Oh, sorry man, I don't have my wallet on me. Wait, what's that on your hip? Oh, this? Yeah, it's called the Miser Masher. I use it to shoot greedy people. Okay, I actually do have $1. But as I was saying, he cites the tyranny of the police as one of the reasons why he wants to move out of society, but what else does he cite?
People out there are paying so much property taxes. It's like you guys are renting your own house. You've got zoning, building codes, homeowners associations. You've got all these different things that are just a multi-person dictatorship.
You heard that right, folks. The homeless man is starting a revolution over HOAs. I'm not trying to dunk on, like, homeless people or, like, make fun of their condition. You know, it's not really their choice. My point is that it's just so funny, because, like, out of everything Michael could be mad at, out of everything he can revolt over, like, you know, maybe not having a house or, you know, rent being super expensive, he chooses HOAs and property taxes? Like, buddy, you're not a homeowner! And don't get me wrong, HOAs are a problem. Like, what do you mean I have to cut my grass? Why can't I paint my house purple? And at least from what I've read, I'm not too knowledgeable about it, but a lot of times property taxes can be, like, proportionally higher on poorer people's property. But still, I'm just saying, there's every reason to revolt. There is so much horror going on in the world. And yet he picked HOAs? Now, I actually think I know why this is, though. So this is kind of speculation, because we really don't know a lot about Michael's past, but I think it's because he's more voluntarily homeless rather than, like, down on his luck. And again, that's not me saying that homelessness is a choice. My guess is that he was a disgruntled homeowner who was paying a ton in taxes, and then he's like, I'm done with this, I'm gonna go move to the desert. But again, that's just a theory. A game theory. But there is a little bit to back it up. Watch this video. Or don't, I don't care.
Yo, let's talk about rebuilding Atlantis. There's a woman that just came on here, and she is exposing Michael Guzman. Apparently, he fled Wisconsin in 2019 because he had 2 warrants for his arrest. And he, I don't know if she is, but I believe, I don't know. Okay, he is due to pay child support. He ran from child support payments. That's one of them. Another one was disorderly conduct, I believe. Anyway, it's all public information. But she is begging people not to get involved with this man, that he is bonkers crazy wild, and nothing good is going to come of this.
Now look, I tried searching up Wisconsin's legal records to see if I could find anything. I couldn't, but that's mostly because I have no idea how to search legal records. If you know how to do that, look into Michael Guzman a bit. I don't know if this is true, and I kind of hope it isn't, because he's inviting people to live on his property. I just thought this is worth mentioning, because, you know, because again, it kind of illustrates why he might be moving out here. Now you might be wondering right now, well, we've heard a lot about Michael so far in this documentary. It's kind of just him following his personal life. But is there anybody else on the project yet? Well, not yet, but we get our first visitor in episode 18. What does he look like? No idea. He shows up and leaves before episode 18 even starts.
So anyways, he came with gifts, and he's got asparagus, and we got rhubarb. I'm gonna try to grow rhubarb in the desert. So yeah, the new guy is totally awesome.
This is the most guy friendship thing I've ever seen. Like, oh yeah, this is my best friend in the entire world. Where does he live? How old is he? What's his name even? I don't know, but he gave me asparagus once. Isn't that cool as hell? And does this guy ever come back? I don't really know. All I know is that Michael actually has some plants now, thank God. I mean, it's gonna take a while to grow, but he took one step closer to self-sufficiency. And again, Michael doesn't talk much about who's actually there, so I don't really know if he comes back. But speaking of things he doesn't talk about, the next 30 episodes or so are just a complete nothing burger. It's just him and his personal projects, which, you know, no offense, Michael, I'm not really interested in. I want to know what's going on, you know, at Atlantis. Like, I can sum it up just by saying Michael goes panhandling a lot, and he buys a bunch of stuff and brings it back. That's kind of it. Oh, and he found an alternate revenue stream, you know, just being a real entrepreneur out there. So he just finds scrap metal and sells it. You know, just like me for real. The only notable episode from this stretch is just somebody donates him just like a load of stuff from their garage, I guess. It's all stuff that's like so irrelevant to like what he's trying to do, but he gets so excited about it. I kind of love it.
There's actually a freaking pool cue in here in this bag. I'm gonna check that out more later.
What does that even mean? What are you checking out about it? Like, what? How is this gonna help you in self-sufficiency? What are we doing here?
I'm gonna go and get another load of free stuff right after I take a shower, and then I'll make another video.
Yeah, you heard that right. This is basically hoarding the civilization. He just goes out, gets as much stuff as possible, doesn't have to be relevant, and he just brings it in. And, you know, this does turn into a problem later, as you're gonna see. But hey, it's still better than a 9 to 5, right? Now at this point we're around episode 38, and when I first watched this, I thought he was still alone. I thought it was just him, but then this random helper showed up. I was like, dude, why do we know nothing about this guy? Why are you not telling us the good tea? Why do I have to hear about your car? Like, so obviously, I was already shocked that he found somebody else to live out there, and then the next episode he reveals that he had 8? Where are these people coming from? I mean, like, off-grid living is actually surprisingly popular, but like, usually it's bigger than this. I'm so surprised that he actually got people to get out here. But again, we don't really know much about the people out here. It gets more interesting later. Kind of turns into a reality TV show a bit, but I don't know. We just don't have a lot of tea yet. And so episode 41, he posts an ad.
I have land here in West Texas near a ghost town called Sierra Blanca, and I'm letting people live on my land for free. Totally for free, and there's no strings attached. I'm not requiring you to work on anything. You can do whatever you want. If you don't want to grow your own food here, you're going to still have to go get groceries and some other supplies. I'll be building a general store soon, so you won't even have to leave anywhere to go get a lot of basic stuff.
Like, yeah, pull up to my land, you can live on it for free. We don't really have anything, we're out in the middle of the desert, and you'll be entirely reliant on yourself, but you know, it's free. You basically live your life as is, except in a tent and without a job. And you have to drive even farther to get groceries. Amazing. What an amazing proposal. Now again, he mentions the general store, but spoiler alert, as of the modern day, this general store does not exist. He is incredibly inefficient at planning. So again, it's really irresponsible to advertise it this way. And luckily in this ad, he's kind of dropped the like revolution language. He kind of admits more that it's just a project to have fun in the desert, which I appreciate. That's more accurate advertising. Is it a good idea to go out there still? No, but you know, at least you know what you're getting in for a little more. At least when he's telling the truth about it. Foreshadowing.
Most of us have solar like that over there. We just got Starlink.
Oh damn, so he's got energy and internet? I could just sit in the desert with no rent, playing War Thunder and editing videos all day. Michael, I'm on my way. Wait, that's what I already do, never mind. And I'm actually close to a grocery store, so yeah, I'm gonna stay here. Sorry, Michael. If someone wants to cover my expenses, I'll move out there and let y'all know what the tea is. So, you know, that's on the table too. Now, unfortunately, at this point, we have a giant piece of the records missing. It's pretty much just a void month. One Piece reference? Now we're at episode 83, and we actually get introduced to a new character here. I say that like this is like a reality show. I mean, I kind of treat it like one sometimes, but yeah. So this is Julie B. Here's our introduction.
Hey everybody, we're rebuilding Atlantis, and this is Julie B. She's been here about 2 months, and she got a new tent today. It's pretty cool. Got it from Amazon, and yes, Amazon delivers to the post office here. So she loves it here. She's got a little table made out of ammo boxes and a piece of wood. How awesome is that?
Pretty awesome, Mike.
She's got puppies harassing her.
Stole my slipper.
Yeah, they stole her slipper today.
Oh yeah, they have dogs here too. I forgot to mention that. Again, for some reason, Michael just glances over all the interesting details I want to hear. Like, where did these spawn from? And look, I'm sure they're well cared for. Okay, look, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt by saying they're well cared for, and then I immediately found this video on his TikTok. I think the dog's okay. They gave him some Benadryl. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just too cynical sometimes. This channel's turning me into a hater! Psych, I always was. Okay, look, I wrote this part of the script quite a while ago, and my hating instincts were actually right, because not only were they terribly trained, but they would literally just ruin everything, including tents, if you left them unattended, which he did a ton. So yeah, maybe it's good to be a hater sometimes. Now look, I'm not going to be a hater for a sec, because in episode 86, Michael actually shows some semblance of long-term planning, as he bought some fruit trees to start a garden. Okay, but again though, I'm sorry, like, it's cool that you got trees, but why do you have so many dogs? Where do they even come from? Is there like a dog spawner out there? Why do you have dogs in a boat in the middle of the desert? Sorry, 2 boats. He picked up another one off Facebook Marketplace. Now luckily, he got this one for free, but like, You have to spend a bunch on gas to bring it over. Like, what are you doing? I'm sorry. But in the next few episodes, he randomly just goes on a tangent about how what he's doing is better than working a 9 to 5. You're a slave to, like, somebody else if you're working a normal job, which is like, yeah, true, but you're not self-sufficient either. Like, you get your money from other people and then buy products made by other people to bring out to your land, right? Land that is legally yours because the government says it is. So, like, that is like a whole social network that sustains your lifestyle. You're not separate from that either just because you don't work a job. The only difference is that you don't have a boss. Why did I say it like boss? Sounded like that one episode of Impractical Jokers.
So I learned to
Like a boss!
And for real, that's not me, like, saying that you should be self-sufficient or anything. My point is that, you know, we live in a society. Everybody is reliant on someone else unless you're a literal caveman. But, like, Michael has this fantasy that he's, like, separate from that, even though he really isn't. But after this tangent is done, though, in the next episode, we get another new person who goes by Whiskey Adventures, and he actually has his own TikTok.
You can say whatever you want. What's up, everybody? I'm rebuilding Atlantis, and this is Whiskey Adventures. Say hi, Whiskey.
What's up?
And this dude has been doing a lot of work. He's one of the people that I let live on my land for free, because I'm letting people live on my land for free.
Okay, look, you know, I think he's letting people live on his land for free. I could be wrong, though. Also, I love how low quality the camera is, which is hilarious because for some reason he uploads in 8K. Well, like, what do you mean 8K? This is like 8 pixels. Like, imagine if my videos looked like this.
So this is Whiskey's pond that he's digging, and it kind of looks a little bit small on this video, but it's actually a lot bigger than it looks. Jump on in there, show them how big that is. Yeah, that's at least 3 feet down there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like, yeah, that's at least 3 feet down in there. And he's got a pile of rocks, dirt, gravel.
Also, I find it so funny that they just dug this hole and decided to call it a pond. They're just building like a pool of stagnant water in the middle of mosquito hell. And then someone else in the comments pointed this out too. They're like, you know, mosquitoes are gonna go crazy with that. They're gonna lay hella eggs. And then they're just like, oh yeah, well, not if you put fish in there. Like, I love how they want this, like, pond so bad that they're already problem-solving ways to keep it. Like, well, we can't just not make the pond. Oh, it'll be fine, we'll just get some fish for it. Because again, the pond is critical for our activities. We cannot compromise the pond. And it really reminds me of that one meme about candle budget. Like, you can spend a little less on the pond. Hell no. Now, they actually do spend money well sometimes, because in episode 91, he finally shows us his garden, and it's actually going really well.
Hey everyone, I'm rebuilding Atlantis. Right now I'm watering my garden. This is grass and watermelons in here.
No way, dude. They are officially self-sustainable. They have grass and watermelons. I was so wrong.
Hey, but check this out. I got a watermelon that I grew. Quick. Tastes pretty good. And I don't even like watermelon. I'm gonna eat it just because I grew it.
Then why'd you even grow it then? Like, you have absolute freedom. You can grow whatever you want, and he chooses to grow a plant he doesn't even like. Alright, in the next episode, they get this watermelon, right? They get their second grown watermelon, and it's like 10 times the size. Good job, man. But then they cut it open before it's ripe, and then they still decided to taste it. So we got this absolutely amazing screenshot. Like, wow, we really got the world's first dry melon. I've been kind of a hater today, alright? I'm on some hating shit. I gotta say, I was wrong. So, I thought that Michael was never gonna actually set up any sort of facilities. I thought this was just gonna be primitive living the whole time. I didn't think he was gonna become self-sustainable. I thought they weren't gonna have modern technology other than phones. I didn't think he was gonna be able to even build a building. But dude, I was so wrong. Because in episode 96, we get the first sneak peek at the Atlantis laundromat. Yeah, they got one washer completely exposed to the elements. And then he's lamenting the fact that he couldn't find a coin-operated washer. Like, why do you even need that? Like, even if you charge the people to use it who live there, that's like a couple bucks a week, dude. And then the last few episodes are pretty boring. I mean, except for when he almost runs over his dog. That was interesting. But again, we're almost to the current day. Bear with me. And again, you might be wondering by now, we're 111 episodes in, right? Is his revolution still reliant on the old society? Yeah, like half his episodes lately have still been about panhandling. Also, I love how his sign says anything helps. Like, imagine giving this guy money and finding out that it's going toward building the Atlantis laundromat. Like, if I give money to a homeless person, I don't think it's my place to judge what they spend it on. I don't care. I'm just giving them money. It's their choice what they spend it on. My point is just that, like, this is like the last thing I would possibly expect someone to spend the money on. It's like, oh, anything helps? Here's $5. And then they go use it to buy a boat for their desert society. I don't know, I just found it really funny. Now, the last few episodes are kind of boring. It's just him in El Paso begging still. Just kind of buying stuff from the stores he gets. He's been making $200 to $400 a day though, so good for him. Again, keep an eye out for that second channel. I might have to hop on this too. But yeah, here we end off on episode 114, which is the last one he posted before I recorded this video. If anything crazy happens, I'll make an update video, but I'm gonna be honest, for reasons you're about to see, I don't think we're gonna get much. So let's talk about some of the problems that Atlantis faces currently. So I was running really late in this video just because of life things, and I'm actually kind of glad I did, because he posted this absolute banger like 2 days ago.
I'm rebuilding Atlantis. Alright guys, so the biggest problem Atlantis is having is that I'm looking for professors, and I just keep finding Gilligans. Too many Gilligans everywhere. I feel like I'm trapped on an island. Help me out, guys. Can you, like, share this with someone smart? Let's get some professors out here.
Like, wow, I cannot believe that smart people don't want to move out into the middle of a junkyard or the desert. Like, wow, color me surprised. And I'm assuming some of the smarter people who did move there ended up leaving, because as of right now, they only have like 8 to 12 people. I just find it absolutely hilarious that Atlantis is suffering from brain drain. Now, why do these people actually leave though? Let's take another look at Whiskey Adventures, because he left after a few months of being there.
The main reason why I left is because, like, our ideals were different as far as what we're gonna do out here in the old desert. It wasn't because, you know, anybody wasn't getting along with anybody. I love everybody out there. Everybody out there is awesome. We're still cool. I go over there and hang out from time to time. It's just Mike like wants to build like a city, well, a little town, like with a little general store and all that stuff, where, like, you know, cash is still king, and I'm looking for more of a cashless society. You know, something where, you know, the community, you know, place where you got a big community garden and everybody works together, you know, to grow stuff and build stuff, and, you know, just like different people with different skill sets, you know, and kind of helping each other out. And, you know, those are some things that I proposed out there, and he's like, no, I'm not really looking to do that, because, you know, I proposed like, hey, we should start a community garden. And he's like, no, everybody can have their own gardens if they want a garden. And, you know, and I would propose other things, and he's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. And it's his land, his rules. So I respect that, and you know, and I went back and told Mike, like, hey, you know, I'm gonna move down to Robbins. We got similar ideas, and we're pushing towards the same thing. And he's like, all right, that's cool. So yeah, it's not because I don't like anybody. It's just because
I find it so funny how Michael's hell-bent on making a business out of this. Like, if your main goal is to make a business, just move back to society. It's gonna be 100 times easier. But while Whiskey Adventures had a good experience, he is absolutely not the norm. Especially when you look at the experience of a woman named Gypsy Raven, who kind of blew the lid off this whole thing. She's basically the Atlantis whistleblower.
So I'm just gonna be completely honest here. Rebuilding Atlantis is not what Mike says it is. It's kind of crappy here. He's got water on a truck, but you can't use it. Julie and Robert kind of, yeah, they're definitely coupled up there in that RV. Yeah, they can say whatever they want. It's pretty fucking obvious. Austin and Chris, which is the other guy, I don't know the girl that runs with him's name. She's real quiet. She never told me her name yet. They rented a B&B, Airbnb. They're not even here. Mike hasn't been here since I got here. You can hear the dogs barking. They barked all night last night. I can't leave my tents because they roll your tent. If you bring a tent up here, you better bring a gate with it. Because if you walk away from your tent, these fucking dogs, they walk across the tent and then they rip the mesh at the top and then they get in your tent. So they've ripped the mesh on both of our tents. They haven't touched the guinea pigs, but they ripped it on the top of that. There's garbage everywhere here. It just blows around. Me and the kids have picked up our campsite like 10 times. And every time we pick it up, because there's like this big giant dump, which I guess is not trash, but it's like a bunch of trash, and it's over by Mike's, and it just blows. Every time the wind blows, it just blows garbage down onto all the other campsites. So there's that. But mostly the dogs. Mostly the dogs. So I think that I'm actually going to pack up. I'm going to say personality clashes out here, which I'm not getting involved in. I'm not here to get involved in any of that. Yeah, and just the lack of actual planning on the owner's part for what people would need to actually stay out here. And I'm willing to pay for things, but he's not willing to deliver them. So, because if you get online, there's like water tanks in El Paso, like everywhere, between $50 and $80. So why wouldn't you just have them here? Like, I guess it's a money thing, but I would have given him the $80 to $100 ahead of time to have a water tank sitting there waiting on me. And just for everybody's information, I didn't get to Atlantis and take everybody with me. I got to Atlantis and they were all wanting to leave, and as soon as I had said that my other option was to come out here, they were all like, let's go. And I said, okay, well, let's leave on the 4th. And the day of the 3rd, they came to me and they were like, well, what if we just leave today? And I'm glad we did, because Mike he's a child. He acted like a little kid. I guess his feelings are hurt that everybody left. So I think the only people out there now are Julie and Rob and him. And Rob apparently bought a house in El Paso and is leaving too. So it's just going to be him and Julie.
So her experience is she went there and Michael was there for a whole 2 hours before he just left to El Paso to go begging. I mean, okay, look, why are you moving to Atlantis with 2 kids? I feel like even in off-grid living, there's better ways to, go about this, but not my life. I don't know what she's going through. But back to the story, Michael basically only came back to try to convince her to stay when he found out that she was trying to leave. This isn't a cult, though. This is totally normal behavior, a completely free society, right? She found another off-grid community to live with in California. She seems to be happy and doing well, so good for her.
But I don't even know that dude, Mike. Like, I met him online. I talked to him a couple of times about business type things, like what he had in his store, where he said he had propane, which he didn't, said he had water, which he didn't, said he had all kinds of stuff, and he didn't. So hi, TikTok clan. So I woke up this morning, and on my For You page, because I unfriended or unfollowed Rebuilding Atlantis, but it was on my For You page because he's still following me. He says that he needs professors and all he keeps getting is Gilligans. So he's calling us Gilligans. Yet he has nothing built out there. It's not, Mike, that you lack smart people. It's that you lack communication skills. And you don't have anything built out there. You've had that land for 5 years and you haven't built a single thing, bro. Like, Mike, maybe you might want to, not throw rocks from your glass house. Just a thought.
So yeah, she drops a bombshell that Mike has had this land for 5 years and has done nothing with it, hasn't built anything, and is trying to invite people to move there. And I kind of thought this was like a newish project because this documentary only started a year ago. But dude, you've had this land for 5 years. You don't really have an excuse anymore. And we also finally get some info about Mike and his truthfulness. So earlier on, I thought Mike was just irresponsible and he had good intentions, and he just hasn't quite got to the point of making a general store or getting supplies for his people on the land. But no, apparently he just lied about it. He just lies that he has propane and food, but he just really doesn't. And then even then, she goes on to say that he doesn't let people use his water. El Paso Desert, they're in the I almost said Texas. They're in Texas. And apparently he gets pissed when people leave. So it's these people are on land with an unstable guy who has a motorhome full of guns just 30 miles from the nearest town. This took a left turn so fast. This information came out 10 days ago. And again, I feel a little vindicated because that early part of the script I wrote before that information came out, I was like, wait, am I being too much of a hater? Maybe this guy's doing good. I haven't really heard much info from the other guys there. And I was right. Okay, that's not a thing to celebrate, but you know what I mean. I also criticized Michael a lot for hoarding, gathering way too much stuff he doesn't need. And yeah, that turns out to be extra true. Mike just has this pile of trash that he won't emit his trash and it just blows everywhere. So not only is he polluting the environment, but he's just making an even worse place for his citizens to live. They said they had to move the tent multiple times just to get away from this just like ever encroaching pile of trash. And then not only that, but if she and her kids ever tried to leave the place, you know, go to town, Mike's dogs would just ravage their tent. Irresponsibility. He's inviting everyone to live on his land, but if you live on his land with anything less durable than an RV, you just get attacked by dogs. This is insane. And again, I'm starting to see why all of Mike's episodes centered around like his own personal projects rather than what's going on the plot of land. Like, I gave him the benefit of the doubt until I heard Gypsy Raven's story, and oh my goodness, it's so much worse than I thought. So, as for who's left, at their peak, they had about like 12 people, I believe. It's hard to verify exactly because nobody's given an exact number, but like people kind of come and go all the time as they kind of get disillusioned with it. As of right now, apparently the only people left are Mike, Rob, and Julie B. But also, Rob and Julie apparently just bought a house in El Paso, so they're probably going to move out soon too, so it might literally just be Mike. The people living there are people who are used to living off grid. Do you know how bad of a living project this had to be for all of them to leave when they're already used to living off grid? Like, dude, what is going on? But it makes sense. It was incredibly mismanaged and falsely advertised. Mike is over here saying he had propane, food, how he's going to set up a general store soon. He says it'd be fine to live there in a tent. Not really. You show up there, you get a bunch of trash blown on you, and you get attacked by dogs. Like, wow. I feel bad laughing, but it's like so comically mismanaged that like I can't help but like find it funny. But that's where we end up today. If anything else crazy goes down, I will surely make an update video. I kind of keep an eye on this story just like passively. But to be honest, I think it's kind of done for, because again, Rob and Julie might be moving out. Chris and the other girl are on some Airbnb. I doubt they're going to come back, because why would they? Gypsy Raven, Austin, and just all the other people who were there, they all just left. And I highly doubt after their stories got out and after I publish this video that anybody else is going to move out there. But again, I'm going to keep watching Michael's documentaries, right? I'm going to keep updated with it, because I find this stuff really entertaining. But yeah, overall, this is a pretty insane story. I find it really interesting. I hope you did too. That's about all I got. If you made it this far, you are a real one, and I really hope nothing crazy comes out about this guy, but you know, if it does, I hope the Netflix documentary cites my video. Later.